Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today, we are looking at the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. If you watched my review on the Fugees' The Score, you already know how I feel about Lauryn Hill. So I'm not really going to get into Lauryn Hill as a person. I do think that she dug her own grave in a lot of cases. Um, and there's a reason why she's not the name that she used to be anymore. Not to say she's not a name, not to say she doesn't deserve respect, because the woman's got a great set of pipes. But I don't think this album holds up half as well as some people might think or hope it does. Let's get into the songs. The album opens up with intro. It's just that it's an intro. Some misty colored music and a classroom roll call. That's basically what it is. And the classroom thing, it will keep reappearing as I do this review and I talk about this album. And I may even come back around to it at the very end as well. Either way, does it do anything for the album? Not really. Yeah. Then we go into Lost Ones. I mentioned this before. I don't like when Lauryn Hill raps. I think she's got a great voice. I don't like her voice as a rapper, though. The backbeats and the scratches on this particular song are really boring and basic. It really sounds like someone just hit the drum machine and then threw in the occasional button sample or a button that scratch samples. That it doesn't sound authentic in any way whatsoever. And then at the very end of it, we return to that classroom theme that I had just mentioned. We get to X Factor. It's an album cut. It doesn't do anything for me. To Zion, I've got issues with the use of Zion. I have the issues with the overuse of Zion. I have issues with the fact that certain parts of certain religions are allowed to be overblown and overused, whereas other parts of other religions aren't. It's a whole religious thing I got against Zion. It really is. The song itself, this one's a little bit slower, has a bit of a Spanish element to it. Whatever. Yeah, not mine. Then it's back to the classroom at the very end, and this one has a little bit of an organish part for the music over top of it. The music kind of fluctuates a little bit over each one, but not a lot. Then we get to Doo-Wop, That Thing. Ooh, fuck. This song was so overplayed, I hated it. I still hate it. In the days of Much Music, you couldn't turn on Much Music without this song playing. Like, it felt like once every half hour or something like that. It was horrible. Horrible. This is one of those things that helped kill Much Music, the repetitiveness of songs like this. Even though that technically this was a little bit before that, this would have been 1998. Is that what that says? I think that's what it says, 1998 on the back. Much Music survived for like another 6-7 years, but it's the overplaying of stuff like this and not enough diversity that really helped destroy the music channel. And at the end of Doo-Wop, there's more of the classroom shit. Then we hit Superstar. Singing on this one's pretty decent. The leads feel slightly off on it. The lead vocals feel slightly off. Lyrics are a little ironic to the music itself. And I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. I'm not. You'll discover I'm really not a huge fan of most of this album as I go through here. After that, we're in a final hour. This one's really meh. Music could be cooler if it wasn't so repetitive. Hip-hop and sampling is one thing I hate about it. They will grab one chunk and they'll just butcher the hell out of that one chunk. with this one in particular, like it's got some cool instrumental parts in there, but the problem is because it repeats the cool instrumental parts, it kills the coolness of them. It takes it from something that could stand out to something that just kind of falls flat. Yeah. Let's see. Then we're on to When It Hurts So Bad. Meh. I Used to Love Him. This is again more meh. Forgive Them, Father. This one was decent. Music made it a lot more interesting than a lot of the stuff on this album. This one actually kind of had some exploration to the music, I felt like, a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Enough to make it say, oh, hey, look at that. Put a little effort into actually creating music. And then at the end, it's back to the classroom. Every Ghetto, Every City. This one isn't bad. It's a decent album cut. It was whatever to me, though. And then it's back to the classroom. Nothing Even Matters to me is just more meh. Everything Is Everything. This is another song that was a victim of much music and they're overplaying. Even the radio still overplays it. To this day, I still cannot stand this song. It comes on and I just want to shoot someone. Or myself. It doesn't matter. I don't mean that literally. That's a figurative expression. Then we got to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That's meh. Now, that's where this album, according to this, ends. When I throw it in the computer, it also gives me 2 extra songs that are not listed on here. It gives me Can't Take My Eyes Off You and Tell Him. I'm assuming that these are bonus tracks or hidden tracks. Interesting that there's 2 hidden tracks. Can't Take My Eyes Off You. I oddly enjoyed that one considering how basic it was. It just kind of, it was the right type of basic. Gets you just with that right kind of pop look and pop hook. And then Tell Him, not a bad closer to the album, just not my thing. Better closer to the album than the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which to me was just kind of meh. So I'm exploring some of these albums, any albums, not all albums. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's, this stuff that I generally don't listen to or if it's stuff that I do listen to regularly. When I notice there's something really worth exploring when it comes to doing these reviews, I'm going to start doing it now a little bit. And one of the things I did for this one is I decided to go through and I cut the tail ends of all the classroom stuff. I put all the classroom stuff together in a nice little continuous segment, and it's a little over 7 minutes. So there's this, and that's including the intro. There's like 7 minutes of classroom stuff. At the end of the in particular songs that it's there, it's kind of interesting, but not really. Like when they did it with the Fugees, the score, I talked about this, where they could have just put it on its own separate little track because it does cause some of the songs to run longer than they need to run. And when you have over 7 minutes of this stuff, you would want to think that it goes somewhere, but it really doesn't go anywhere. It's basically nothing but talking about love or views of love or thoughts of love or stuff like that in the classroom. And it's not even like they do anything insightful with it. It's kind of really stupid. Like if you went into a classroom and you asked a bunch of grade 10s, we'll say, to talk about love, I think you would honestly get, at least back in when this would have been like 98, you honestly would have gotten better answers than you were getting on here. Something that sounds more insightful, I think. I think that either one, it wasn't scripted out and they were just kind of screwing around with it and then oversampled music over top of it and split it up a little bit later. Or they did script it out and they did a really lousy job of it. It's really a disservice, kind of, at the end of the day, because there isn't anything profound. There isn't anything interesting. There isn't anything that grabs you and go, oh, hey, that's really cool. Nothing like that. It's just kind of like, eh. And that's kind of how I feel about this whole album as a whole. I mean, I get why certain songs were the singles they were. Do Up That Thing, I get why it was a single, and if it wasn't for Burnout, I would have actually probably enjoyed it a little bit more. Everything is everything. I don't think I would have been into it as much even without the burnout, but the burnout on it really didn't help. Uh, would I recommend this album? No. The Fugees, the score was way better than this. Way, way better than this was. Lauryn Hill going solo didn't do anybody any favors except for maybe Lauryn Hill. Yeah, that's kind of it. Uh, yeah, it's to me this is overall just a very disappointing album. It's very meh. Anyways, folks, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Those are my views. Your opinions, thoughts, and views can go in the comment section below. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the album. Let me know if there's something else I should go look at, if I've overlooked something. Either way, it's just kind of bland and basic. It really, as much as I want to wrap this up here, this is everything I hated about, I hate even to this day about rap and hip hop and stuff like that, because it's just boring ass sampling. Very little thought or originality in it. Okay. Like button, subscribe button, bell for notifications. There's a link below that will take you to Patreon. I do have some cool new stuff coming soon, so keep on watching for that reason. Peace. Love. Take care.